yes. Hey, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. He's got himself a real bike. Hey, how's it going, man? Everybody's really friendly today. What's going on, friends? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys stopping by. As you can tell from the thumbnail, I want to talk about this 2020 Z-H2. Normally, I wouldn't feel like the reveal of a bike is significant, but I've been looking forward to this for what, a couple weeks now, and today I finally get a chance to look at it. I think all the info has been out for about 24 hours or so, and I have to say I'm kind of conflicted. I don't know what to think about this thing. So if you follow Kawasaki's website, you know, they have been dropping hints about what this bike is going to be like for a little while. You know, people have been putting out speculations. You know, and a lot of those things came true. Like some of them were kind of given. Everybody knew that it was going to be a naked bike. That was kind of a given. And the second thing that people kind of already knew was that it was going to be supercharged. Now, in my line of thinking, it seemed like it'd be kind of a waste and a lot of extra work to go ahead and redesign a whole new engine for this bike, whatever it was going to be, right? So I'm already of the assumption that it's going to be very similar to the existing H2 engine, but just slightly detuned. And you know, based on what I found out today, I was kind of right. But we'll talk about that a little bit. So most of my time at work today was devoted to looking up information about this bike, and I have to say that I'm really conflicted about how I feel about this thing. But I'm trying to reserve my judgment until I actually see it in person. So I'm expecting this bike to just be beautiful. And honestly, it's kind of not. It takes a lot of its styling cues from Kawasaki's already existing naked bikes. Like it looks kind of like a Z900, but just bigger. I want to compare my initial reaction to how you would react if you saw an ugly baby. You know, on the surface you want to say, oh, it's cute, oh, it's such a cute baby, but in the back of your mind you're thinking, good God, what is this thing? And like I said, I'm trying to reserve my judgment until I actually see it in person, because a lot of people say the same thing about the H2. Like, it's not a very good looking bike, but in its own way it is very, very beautiful. So I'm hoping that when I actually see it in person, maybe it'll change my mind. It looks very similar to what's already out there, what Kawasaki has already created, with just minor variations. So one of the first things I tried to find out was some of the specs on this bike. Like I said, I figured that they wouldn't redesign a whole new engine, but they would make, you know, some tweaks to what they already have. And I feel like I was kind of right. So from what I've read online so far, it seems like this thing is putting out about 197 horsepower and somewhere in the high 80s or low 90s of torque. Right away made me think that it's just a slightly different version of the engine that they have in the H2SX. One thing that caught my eye though were the brakes. On the front they're Brembo brakes, but on the back it's got something else. It looks like a Tokiko. I don't know what that is, and I don't quite understand why there's a Brembo on the front but there's no Brembo on the back. I'm gonna have to look more into that, but it was one thing that immediately caught my eye. Another thing that's slightly different on this Z-H2 is the all-digital TFT display. So it looks like it's slightly bigger than what I have here on the R1. Maybe if they used up all that extra black space around the edges. But it also makes me think that maybe in future models of the H2, they'll ditch this like analog tachometer and go all digital. So that'll be interesting to see in a couple years, maybe 2 or 3 years, and they make some updates to the H2 again. But I will say that I do like that that TFT display, man. It looks nice. One thing I looked up was trying to compare the weights. I was surprised to see that this Z-H2 is so heavy. Like it's only slightly lighter than the H2 by, I think, maybe 20 pounds. I'm not sure what the you know, the Z1000s and the Z900s weigh, but man, that just seems like really heavy to me. But I'm also thinking, because the riding style and the ergonomics of, you know, naked sport bikes are different, that maybe the extra weight will be a benefit to how the bike is supposed to handle. Like, I don't want to say that it's going to be shitty, or, you know, that nobody's going to like it, it's going to ride like crap, because I'm sure that it's not. I can't see I can't see how in any way that this bike is going to be terrible. Oh, something else that I noticed is that it doesn't have a single-sided swing arm anymore. I wonder if they did that because of the way that the naked sport bikes are supposed to handle. Maybe it's not going to handle as well with a single-sided. But then I also have questions about why some of the other brands that have naked sport bikes have single-sided swing arms. So questions as to why they did some of the things that they did. I think maybe one of the reasons they decided to do these little things and cut some of these corners, if you want to call that, maybe to keep the cost down, because right now it looks like it's about $17,000, which is a lot of money. Like that's a lot if you compare it to, say, the Z900, which is only about 8,000 or 9,000 right now. What the hell? Come on, man. You know, I'm going through this red light. Fuck it. Why do they, only put Brembos on the front? Maybe to keep the cost down. Why doesn't it have a single-sided swing arm? Maybe to keep the cost down. The little things that I think you might come to expect from an H2, I just don't see on the Z-H2. So if you're in the market for a naked sport bike and you like the Z900, I can't think of any reason why you'd want to spend $17,000 on a Z-H2 besides the fact that you've got a supercharger. But even with that, like, all the other little things that seem to be from the H2 persona, I guess, if you want to call that, aren't there. I don't know. I guess in the coming weeks, we'll they'll release more information, and some of the professional bike testers will actually get out there and make some review videos. But yeah, that's it. That's all I've got. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, do all the things that YouTube requires you to do to get notified whenever I post new videos, and have a great day. Yeah, I'll see you guys later.